Hi Shiva, how are
Hi,
you?
sir. Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay, yesterday I sent a job description for a role, AWS software engineer. You got that mail, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
Can you open and explain your eligibility for that role performing with your internship experiences and the project activities, what you have done during our internship course? Okay,
Okay.
just please open that document and read it and explain it. What all you can do in that
Mm,
technical skills.
Okay, let me open my.
Just share the screen.
Okay. So, is my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it is visible. Yes.
Basically, this is for the role AWS software engineer developer role for
Hmm.
the AWS cloud.
Okay.
So, okay, let's start with responsibilities. The first one is should have strong experience in building AWS infrastructure by using the Terraform.
Hold on
So,
there. Just hold on that point.
mm,
I will
mm,
discuss that. So when you say you have strong experience in building AWS infrastructure using Terraform tool, right?
yes.
What kind of infrastructure setup you have done for Terraform automation?
So
IAC.
if you think about ISC, I have done the POCs by using the Terraform.
Can you show your profile also? You have profile readily available, which can be shared here on the call. You can show those
Okay.
demonstrations. You have done some demos I have seen in the resume.
Uh,
Just open the resume. From there, you can explain it. What all you have done in that. Just
so
go down.
okay. Mm, so basically, this is the by using Terraform, we are going to install
You
this
created the
Apache
Apache 2 web
web
server
server.
using
Yes.
Terraform. Okay, what are the other things you have done it?
And this is also by using the Terraform IAC with the WordPress site by using the DB MariaDB database.
Is it single tier or two tier?
This is two-tier architecture.
Two tier means how many EC2s?
Two EC2s.
Where they are sitting in which subnets?
So basically, the one web server is sitting on the public subnet, and this DB is sitting on this backend private subnet
Okay, is it non-RDS setup or with RDS setup? Database server.
with RDS.
Okay, so RDS means how many subnets you used it when you
Mm,
created
two, two
RDS?
private subnets, right?
Two private subnets. Okay. Yeah, are there any gateways you used?
Uh, yes, by routing the traffic from the public server to this, we are using the NAT gateway.
Okay. Move forward. What are the other areas you have done for Terraform automation?
And yeah, this is the, you can see
Which
this is
one?
Nginx,
ECS,
Nginx,
Elastic
yes.
Container Service in AWS.
Mm.
Okay. What kind of setup it is?
Basically, this is the setup by using the VPC components, networking, and compute by displaying this Nginx web server,
It means you install the Nginx server in the public or private EC2.
a public EC2 only.
Is it public? Nginx
Yes,
server is configured in public or private subnet?
public subnet.
Okay, right. Next one.
And for the EKS also, we are using one web page by taking one web page into the Terraform in the EKS model.
Is it a simple web page or any WordPress site is there in that project activity?
It's a normal simple web page.
Okay,
A
like Apache 2.
Two-tier web page. This is actually.
Two-tier means does it contain any PHP code or what code you are using to display the data from the back end to the front end?
Okay, I think okay, single only, right? Single.
Single tier. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Single tier, then you can see the data from MySQL client also, right?
Yes, yes.
Once it is configured it with Terraform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, that's all Terraform scripts.
Yes, yeah, that's all.
Did you do anything using CloudFormation JSON scripting?
Yeah, this one you can see the AWS Cloud Formation setup for the two-tier architecture.
Two-tier architecture by using WordPress or what kind of application?
That is NAT RDS by using the NAT RDS
No, did you use any application like
application.
to pull the
This one,
data?
yeah, PHP.
PHP web page you used it.
Mm.
So in the backend, RDS was made for database server.
Mm-hmm.
Does it contain RDS?
Yes, yes, it is RDS we are using here in this
Okay.
setup.
Now it is you confirmed about the Terraform project activities, what you have done, what is the exposure you have done. Now go back to next point in the job description. What is the next
Um,
point?
should have strong experience in analyzing and migrating data from on-premise to cloud.
Okay, what is your understanding on the on-premises and off-premises? What are those
Uh,
premises?
so this on-premises basically is located in the normal data centers, whatever the
Mm,
infrastructure they are creating. So that
mm,
should be available in this on-premises data centers.
mm,
So if we need to analyze what is the infrastructure they are using in the data center, and we
mm,
need to understand that infrastructure, and we can migrate that whatever the components they are using for the infrastructure.
mm.
So same infrastructure we need to migrate from that on-premise to cloud infrastructure.
If you see third point also, it has got same requirement, migration from on-premises to AWS cloud, right?
Yes, I think yesterday we have discussed one scenario similar.
Yes, yeah, similar one is on-premises. One scenario, two servers are there, DB servers need to be migrated to AWS. Right, but here in the migration part, when you talk about on-premises, there can be private cloud machines like virtual
Mm,
machines.
mm,
There can be desktop systems. There can be independent Linux servers running in the network. All those kinds of infrastructure is existing in most of the places. When you
mm,
have
mm,
such kind of things, what is your plan? How we are going to plan it for migrating those things? Let us say you worked with a company where they have this kind of setup, and they told, okay, Siva, you know all the things. Now you plan and tell us how you are going to plan it. Let us say yeah, there are four desktop systems where they are running on Windows servers and two Linux servers on desktop. Okay,
mm,
uh, six are there. Now they have a private cloud where there are some 10 missions, 10 virtual missions. Then how we are going to plan it to migrate them differently?
So whole, right? Both
Yeah. This is the setup. It is given to you. They have given time like 3 to 6 months. We want that to be there in cloud. So you need to submit the plan. What is your approach? What is your strategy to do that work?
So in this sense, in this scenario, first of all, we need to analyze uh, that environment. First of all, we need to understand that environment. Whatever the Windows as well as Linux private environment, we need to analyze and understand whatever the resources they are using in that desktop server.
Okay.
So first, after we analyzed and understand, then we can plan for the migration to the AWS by taking the whatever the data backup first of all. If they have the data available and the on premises, so we need to take the backup of this data and store into the AWS by using that RDS service.
Okay, that is about databases. But
So
if it is about, let us say you are talking about in non-virtualization, right? Normal servers, normal desktops. Okay, but if they have some virtual machines, they all are connected for different applications running. Okay, now how are we planning to do that?
So in that case, we need to convert that into OIA file.
OVA file.
OIA file.
Okay.
Then by using this OIA file, we can create here in the AWS cloud by migrating that file into this S3 bucket.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
There is a network problem. You are saying convert into OVA files. After that,
Yeah, by you can send that file into S3 bucket. So from S3 bucket uh, we can download it from the EC2, and we can start that whatever the image is available. So from that image, we are going to create that environment.
okay. When you take the OVA file, we don't need to take database separately and migrate it, or along with the OVA file, it goes all the servers, whatever systems are installed, software applications into the virtual machine. How it works?
Through the OIA file.
Through the OVA file. So you don't need to, if it is a private cloud machines, you don't need to take data backup and migrate it. You don't need to do that, right? Along with machine, it will go.
Yes.
Is it correct, or you need to take backup?
You don't need to take backup separately.
Okay, right. Now next point, fourth point, you please discuss on that.
Should have good experience on AWS core services such as networking, security, compute, storage, Route 53, Lambda, and API gateway.
Okay.
So if you think about the networking part, like creating the VPC subnets and NAT gateways, internet gateway, so that will come under this networking part.
Yeah, what is security?
Security, basically the security means we are giving the port numbers, security groups, creating the security groups and attached to this EC2s to route the traffic from where to where. So we need to check and we need to give that particular security groups open. We need to open that particular security groups.
Okay.
This is for computing means we need to launch the servers in order to run the applications. So for that we need this compute services. So in order to store the database, of the applications for the users, we need storage database services.
Okay. When you talk about storage, there are different categories of the services in AWS. What are the areas you worked so far?
So far, I have worked on this MariaDB and MySQL.
No, I'm not asking about the databases. I'm asking the storage services of AWS. AWS has got S3 and other storage services also. What are those you worked? Do you know what is EBS value?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
You worked with the EBS value?
Yeah, we are taking that MySQL image by using that EBS volumes.
Okay. Then RDS, that is also storage,
RDS.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So you did some project activities on all these storage services, right? S3, EBS, and
And
RDS also, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, when it comes to the Route 53, where you will be using Route 53? What for you are you going to use it?
Basically, this Route 53 will route the traffic, basically. So it will sit on the top of the architecture, basically. So
Let us
whenever
say you have set up the application for a website with load balancers in different regions. And there are some AutoScale, CloudWatch services also configured it. Now, if you are using website address, whether it will go directly to the load balancer or first it will go to the Route 53 and through Route 53 it will be going to load balancer. What is the process it adapts
So
in
whenever
AWS?
we hit the application URL, so definitely it will go to this Route 53 first. Then from the Route 53, it will go to the different load balancers and S3 for the storage. So that is the process.
Okay. So what is Lambda? What is the experience you have on Lambda?
So we have done one basic POC on this Lambda. So I understood about Lambda, how it is working. Like suppose if I need to send the data to the S3 bucket and it need to store in the some database, DynamoDB or something. So for that, I need to write one Lambda function. Then I can execute this Lambda function. So based on the trigger, I need to configure the trigger event also. So when I need to take that image to the S3 and so for that I need to configure the Lambda event in the Lambda function. Then I can execute this Lambda function.
Now let us say there is a requirement. For one developer, the cloud admin has given full access for EC2. Now he feels like this developer don't need full access for EC2s. Whatever EC2s are created, we have given access to him. Now let us control that particular user ID without having full access. What is your solution through Lambda services?
Okay, in that case, we need to create one Lambda function. Inside the Lambda function, whatever we need to give the permission policies, particular policies to read only access or edit that particular access, we need to mention in the Lambda function for that particular user credentials. So
Okay.
that
The bottom point is also related to Lambda function. What they are asking is scripting language like Python, Node.js. Which scripting language you used so far in Lambda function?
Boto 3 with Python scripting.
Oh, you used Boto 3 Python. Okay. PHP also you used it for Lambda function or JSON or what other scripts?
So for the we are doing one POC in the Lambda. For that, we are using the Python Boto 3. So
Okay. Then, do you know anything about the source code management tools? What are the source code management portals you know so far?
So source code management tools like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket,
Okay, okay.
SVN.
Which one you used in your project activities during demos?
So most of the demos I used this GitHub only. So it is very
So,
popular.
did you create projects and migrated to AWS
Yes, yes, we
repositories?
have. Yes, I have done on the activity migrating from GitHub to this AWS cloud by using the code pipeline concept.
Now, I'll tell one scenario. You answer to the solution. There is a GitHub project you created. It has got some 5, 6 files. Okay. Now, what is the process you follow to upload into AWS repository? What are the steps it contains? Can you please explain?
Okay, so in that case, first of all, we need to create one code repository on the AWS cloud to store these files from the GitHub to the AWS cloud. So in next we need to configure this token where we have the token inside this GitHub local. We need to configure that token into the AWS cloud in order to connect with from the GitHub to the AWS cloud, so that whatever the repositories you are located inside this GitHub, then all the repositories are connected to the AWS cloud. Then we can take the code pipeline. On the code pipeline, we can configure this repository, and we can easily take that code into the AWS cloud.
Let us say these 5 files are given to different developers. 4 developers are using 5 files. One developer checked in code. Now what should happen?
So that updated code need to be fetched into the AWS cloud, right?
Yeah, you have to tell. You tested them, right?
So for that, we need to configure the GitHub webhooks part. So whenever the code is changes in the local GitHub, then automatically it will trigger and it will update into the AWS code repository.
Where you are configuring webhooks, is it on AWS code repository or code deploy, or there are different services, right? In AWS DevOps itself.
Code deploy section, we need to configure this webhooks part.
Okay, so when you update the code there in GitHub repository, it should appear in the AWS repository. But how are you going to deploy that particular new code into the particular folder in EC2 or environment? What is the procedure you use it?
So that is also comes under AWS code deploy option. On that is code deploy action section. There is options. We are migrating from this code into the EC2 or S3. So that is the option. We can select that EC2 and with the URL of this code, what is that URL, right? Then we can easily migrate from that by using that URL, code repository URL, HTTP.
Okay, okay. Coming to ECS, cloud management tool, automation tool, we discussed it, Terraform and JSON. Then let us talk about ECS and EKS. What is your exposure with ECS and EKS? Let us say I have one application, WordPress application. Okay. That contains in the PHP. Now, how are you going to move them into containers in ECS? How are you going to configure WordPress site in ECS?
So
what is your approach? What are the steps?
Okay. I will show this. I have done one POC. This ECS.
You have ready-made available your PPT?
Yes, yes, I will show that one. You can understand. So this is the WordPress site. We are going to use the and ACS by using the ACR images, Elastic Container Repository.
Okay.
So this is the EC2 basically. We are going
How many
to
images are required in this setup?
WordPress, one image.
What about database? Are you going to create all the things in one container, or you can create in multiple containers also?
That is also possible, but
You
I've
created only
taken.
one image
Mm.
with WordPress
I've
server
taken.
and database server running in single container.
Yes.
Did you post any posting, blog posting using that setup after
Yes, we are
completion?
pasting. Yes.
Okay, okay. Now go back to the JD, job description document. Okay, what is the next point they're asking? Experience on DevOps process and tools. We discussed that. Good to have experience on any configuration management tool like Ansible. You know Ansible?
I know Ansible a little bit because
Oh,
basically this is for the configuration management. Suppose if I have 50 servers are available on the environment. So there is a requirement like if you need to install one Java version or any Apache version on the 50 servers. So I can't able to handle manually, right? So for that I need to write one Ansible playbook according to the that requirement, whether version. I need to mention that version inside the Ansible playbook. Then I can execute from the masters only Ansible, whatever wherever the Ansible installed, that is the master. So I can execute that command so that it will install on all the servers, control servers.
Okay, right. Now, uh, do you feel you are eligible for this position? How much percentage eligibility you feel from 1 to 100%?
Mm.
How much percentage you can justify yourself?
So
They
this
gave
is
like a software engineering means AWS developer role only, but they gave infrastructure, automation, cloud engineer, and DevOps engineer roles also
yeah,
included in
yeah.
the tasks. Title is AWS software engineer. That is the mistake they have done it in the job description title. Okay. Now
Mm.
you tell me for this job description, how much percentage you are eligible?
So I can
Forget
say.
about experiences. Okay, live
Mhm.
experience, you gained it from the internship only. Okay, so with that exposure and experiences with your demonstrations, you can justify yourself.
So here I have used all the services, whatever they have mentioned almost. So I can say that 95% I'm eligible for this role.
95%. Oh,
Yes. You can
okay.
just
Because
see
you,
this
you worked with
required.
EKS, ECS, and DevOps tools, processes, and all AWS basic services, and Terraform, CloudFormation, automation of those things also, and BotoScript exposure also you have. So all those, with all those, you are confident to say 95% you are eligible.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Good, good. That is a great achievement for your internship. Let us stop the call. We'll see next demo. I mean, next job description in next call.